I want to tell you the story of how my own children betrayed me, took away my property, and left me in an old age home. And then one of them even came to work in my company. Part 1. The early years. My child, sit closer. You asked me once why I sometimes stare at the window for hours, smiling and crying at the same time. Today I will tell you my story. It is not an easy one, but maybe it will teach you what love, betrayal, and forgiveness really mean. I was once a young girl too, full of dreams, laughter, and endless energy. I grew up in a small town where life was simple. My parents were not rich, but they raised me with love, discipline, and faith. When I got married, I thought I had stepped into a fairy tale. My husband was a hard-working man with big dreams. Together we built everything from scratch. We didn't inherit wealth. No, every brick, every piece of furniture, every little luxury in our home was the result of our sweat, sacrifices, and sleepless nights. And when our children came into the world, I thought our struggles had finally found their purpose. Each time I held one of my babies in my arms, I felt as though the universe had rewarded me for all the hardship. I gave them everything, my time, my youth, my health. When they were sick, I sat awake for nights, praying feverishly. When they cried, I cried with them. When they smiled, I felt like the whole world was lit with sunshine. Yes, I was proud. I believed my children would be my strength when I grew old. I believed they would carry my legacy with love. But life, my child, life does not always turn out the way we dream. Part 2. The sacrifices. I remember one winter night. I had only one shawl. It was freezing, but I wrapped that shawl around my eldest son while I sat trembling in the cold. I told myself, what does it matter if I am cold? At least my child will sleep in warmth. Years later, when that same son became a man, he wrapped not a shawl, but the cloak of betrayal around me. But let me not rush ahead. When their father passed away, my world collapsed. I was left with grief and responsibilities. I could have broken down, but I did not. For the sake of my children, I became both mother and father. I worked day and night, managed the house, looked after their studies, and protected the property my husband left behind. I told myself, this property is for my children. This house is their safe haven. I will never let anyone touch it. I was wrong. I never knew the very hands I was protecting it for would one day snatch it away from me. The betrayal. The day is still fresh in my memory. My eldest son, the same one I once covered in my shawl, came to me with a sweet smile. He held my hand and said, "Ami, we love you. We only want you to rest now. Just sign these papers. Everything will be easier for us to manage." I looked at him with pride. I thought, how lucky I am. My children care for me so much. Without reading, without doubting, I signed. My trembling old hands signed away everything. Our house, our land, our savings. And then, their tone changed. Their visits grew rare. Their words turned sharp. One day they told me, "Ami, you should stay in an old age home. You will be more comfortable there. Don't worry, we will visit you often." Comfortable? Do you know what comfortable meant? It meant being thrown away, like a used book once all its pages had been read. That day when they drove me away from the house I had built with my own hands, I didn't cry, not in front of them. I held my tears, because a mother does not beg her children. But the moment the gates of that old age home closed behind me, my soul wept like a storm. Part 4. Life in the old age home. Do you know what it feels like to live in an old age home, child? Let me tell you. At first, the walls are strangers. The beds are too stiff. The corridors too silent. Then, slowly, you begin to hear voices, cries muffled in the dark, whispers of other abandoned parents, laughter that is hollow, forced. Each person there carries a story of betrayal. A father who gave his son a business, only to be thrown out. A mother who raised her daughter single-handedly, only to be left alone when the daughter found her own family. We sit together sometimes. We share our pain. But the wound never truly heals. Nights are the hardest. I often woke up and stretched my hand, expecting to feel the familiar wall of my old bedroom. But all I touched was emptiness. Still, I prayed. Every day I prayed for my children. May God bless them. May they never suffer what I am suffering. You see, a mother's heart cannot curse even when broken. Years passed. They seldom visited, and when they did, it was hurried, distracted, filled with excuses. I learned to stop expecting. I learned to live with silence. The twist of fate. And then, one day, the unimaginable happened. I was sitting in the garden of the old age home, my worn-out hands holding a book, when the warden came to me and said, "Someone is here to see you." I lifted my eyes, and there he was, my son, the same one who once tricked me into signing away my life. But his eyes, they were different. No arrogance, no pride, just fear and desperation. He sat before me, his voice trembling. "Ami, I need your help. I have lost my job. The company I worked for is connected to you. If you can put in a word, I might get a chance." For a moment I stared at him in silence. He did not know. He did not know that the company he was talking about was the one my husband and I had founded many years ago. He did not know that despite everything, I still owned shares, still had influence. He did not know that while he had taken my house, my jewelry, my savings, he had overlooked the greatest treasure, my position in that company. I looked at him and I smiled. "So you need my help now?" I asked softly. He lowered his head, ashamed. For the first time in years, he looked like that small boy who once cried for my shawl on a winter night. And in that moment my anger melted. "Beta," I said, "property and wealth can be stolen, but blessings and prayers cannot. You forgot me, you betrayed me, yet here you are, back in front of me, asking for something only I can give. This is life's way of teaching you. Never abandon the hands that raised you." His eyes filled with tears. Mine too. Part 6, the lesson. "So yes, child, this is my story. I was betrayed, I was abandoned, but I forgave, because forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength. My children thought they had taken everything from me, but they forgot. A mother's love, a mother's prayer, and a mother's dignity cannot be stolen. Today they come to me with respect, with regret, and I give them what I always gave them, my blessings. Remember this, my dear. Wealth will vanish, property will change hands, but the love of parents, once lost, it can never truly return. Treasure it while you can.